I was staying in a Hilton for 2 weeks, so what the hell? I had beautiful accommodations, the pool, everything. Anyways, I know for a fact that wasn't me.
Okay.
That's my camera?
Yes, sir.
What escort is that?
What are you doing? What the fuck does it look like I'm doing, dumb?
That's not even my voice.
Get the fuck over before you find out. Stop pretending you're a police officer. Listen, motherfucker, I know what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do. What you need to do is figure it out.
That's not me. That's not even my voice.
Okay.
Go ahead, pull your little phone out, do your little Google search and figure out what we're doing and what we legally allow. Good. Then back off and give us room.
Who did that?
You are. By running along.
Whose body camera was
I
this?
need you to stay to the side, sir.
It's yours. This is what was
That's
taken
what
off
the
of you.
legal law is.
You didn't see it, but when it goes right by here, you see your face. We already exploded enough to make sure that we have
That's not-
confirmation. This guy, he actually lives in Virginia. This is a rental car.
Good.
And he positively identified you. I'm going to show you one more.
Sergeant? That's what I said. Huh? Well, I hear what you're saying, but the statute says we can facilitate the movement of the funeral, and I've had 4 judges that said the same thing. Wait a minute.
Jeremy DeWitt, 2019 CF 3928.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Lanier. Mr. Ledan, I did get written confirmation from Judge Roche and her judicial assistant that I had the authority to resolve the Orange County cases set in front of Judge Roche based on the plea agreement that was in writing. I don't have any details about what that plea agreement is. I don't know if there's a offer of resolution on our case. Mr. DeWitt's case in 2019 CF 3928 is number 1 on our trial docket today. State, what's...
Your Honor, there is a global offer resolution that includes this case that was conducted. I do know Mr. Ledan earlier last week tried to reach out and try to see if we could secure time. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. I do have the plea agreement. I have Mr. Ledan the email that has all the terms in it. We didn't know how, Your Honor.
Ready to go?
The state's ready to go for trial, Your Honor, but there is an offer, and the defense has indicated that they was ready for resolve.
Okay. Mr. Ledan, is the plea forms completed?
No, Your Honor. The challenge is Mr. Moore and I, the primary prosecutor in Orange County, have been going back and forth on, it's a very detailed, unusual plea. And we were talking as late as yesterday at 6:30 last night, tweaking things that came through after the initial email that...
I don't know whatever was placed in front of Judge Roche is the plea agreement. If things have changed since then, I don't have any authority to make any changes.
It's not the substance of the bones of it are all the same. It's the specific special conditions and how it's being effectuated that's a little bit different. So we can do it. I was trying to get a set for a plea to avoid this morning because I knew there might be some bumps in the road.
It's a 2019 case. I need Mr. DeWitt to either enter a plea to the state's offer that's been approved by Judge Roche, and I will consider the state's recommendation if this is some kind of downward departure.
It's not.
But I need that to happen this morning.
Well, his case here today can be pled, and then we can just send him back to Orange County if need be. There's a lot of moving parts to this, and I'm set for trial in front of another judge this morning, which is why I was trying to get it set for.
I understand.
A
We've
plea.
coordinated with Judge Woodard. If it's not going to be a global resolution today, I will resolve my case. However, and I will consider the state's recommendations to how to resolve it. And then you're on your own with Judge Roche.
Yeah, I know. We can resolve our case here, Judge. If I can have a moment to finalize the plea agreement with Mr. DeWitt, we can take care of your case, and it'll be Judge Roach's responsibility.
Our case, Your Honor, is a strict AOC sentence as part of the global plea. I did speak to Mr. Moore about this, and because of all the moving parts, we made an accommodation, so if we had to do this, we could.
What's the recommended sentence?
It's 18 months.
18 months, Your Honor, and it's not a downward departure.
Right, it's not downward. And we're already set in front of Judge Roach for Thursday of this week for sentencing in another case he's pled to.
Right.
Whether I can get him there in time to
I'll make sure
actually
that
effectuate that, I don't know.
I'll get involved in giving it back to Orange.
That'd be fantastic. So if I can have 2 minutes, he already knows we've reviewed what the deal is in this particular case.
Yes, sir.
I can just execute a plea form with him real quick and we'll be ready to go.
Good deal.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It is what it is.
Let me ask you, why do you have the radar head on there, on your bike? In the middle, you have the radar
It just came with the bike, and we just to take it off. If you disconnect it, it turns all kinds of shit off. So it's not connected. It doesn't work.
Then how could it turn anything off?
Huh?
You said if you take it off the
If
bike,
you
it turns everything
disconnect
off.
it from the wiring harness,
So it is hooked up.
no. It doesn't come on. You know what I'm saying? You can't use it because the controller's not there. You know what I'm saying? That can be disconnected. That was disconnected. The brain in the back, in the trunk, was taken out. But this, it hooks to the headlights or something like that, or I don't know. And if they disconnected it, it would cause electrical issues. So they just left it there, but it doesn't work. That's what I said.
You'll assist Mr. DeWitt to the podium, please. Mr. DeWitt, we're going to place you under oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to enter into this case is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr.
Morning again, Your Honor. For the record, Amir Ledan on behalf of Jeremy DeWitt, and in 2019 CF 39280, Mr. DeWitt would like to withdraw his previously tendered plea and enter a plea of no contest to the one-count information, false personation, a third-degree felony. I've reviewed with Mr. DeWitt the plea terms prior to today. The agreed-upon disposition for the court's consideration is an adjudication of guilt, 18 months in DOC, concurrent with any other sentences he's going to be serving or is serving in DOC. There is a cost of investigation to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office in the amount of $704.98, along with the applicable court costs. We believe his time served to be 90 days. Madam Clerk is showing 81. I think the discrepancy, Judge, is that there was a remand. We filed a motion. The judge granted it non-pro-tunc, so that's the difference between the 81 and the 90, and I think the state's indicating they're willing to stipulate that he's entitled to the 90 days of credit for time
I'm willing to
served.
stipulate, Your Honor. I do know Mr. Ledan did his due diligence in filing that motion, and I remember seeing the motion myself.
Right, not a problem. I'll accept the stipulated time served as 90 days.
And I'm writing that into the already executed plea form, Your Honor. And we'll tender that to the court.
Thanks. Right, Mr. DeWitt, we have sworn you in. I've got a 4-page document. It's the plea form document. Looks like this. It has a signature on the last page of the document. Is that your signature, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And after each of the 26 paragraphs, there are some stylized initials. They look like that. Are those your initials?
Yes, Your Honor.
What your signature and your initials tell me is that you've actually read this plea form. You've gone over it with Mr. Ledan. You understand all the rights and obligations on it. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Finally, it tells me that you wish to plead no contest to one count of false impersonation of a law enforcement officer. That is a third-degree felony allegation. Is that what you wish to do?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you have a right to have a jury trial as to that allegation? You have a jury downstairs. At that jury trial, the state of Florida would have to prove to a jury beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt you committed each element of the offenses that you were charged with. At that trial, Mr. Ledan would be with you. He'd be cross-examining witnesses and examining the evidence against you. You would have a right to present your own witnesses and your own evidence. If your witnesses had not wanted to come to court, could have asked me to make them come to court with a subpoena. You could have testified in the trial, or you could have remained silent and not testified. That would have been your decision after you talked things over with Mr. Ledan, and your jury would have been instructed not to consider that decision in any way in rendering a verdict. You would have had a right to have the trial recorded and appeal any error that occurred in that process. Do you understand you are giving up all of your trial rights because if I accept this resolution, I will go along with the recommended sentence of the state of Florida and we will not be having a trial on this matter? Do you understand those things?
Yes, sir.
Is anyone forcing you or pressuring you into making this decision?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone made you any promises other than what's written on your plea form?
No, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or mental issues that cause you not to understand the decision that you're making?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand if you are not a United States citizen, entry of this plea would subject you to deportation proceedings?
Yes, Your Honor.
and if you ever before have been convicted of a sexually violent or sexually motivated offense, you could be considered for involuntary civil commitment at the conclusion of any incarcerative sentence. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm well familiar with the factual allegations in the case. I do find a factual basis with which the court can accept this plea, find that you appear to be alert, intelligent, you've had an opportunity to think about this resolution of this case and discuss it with Mr. Ledan. You satisfied with Mr. Ledan's help?
Yes, Your Honor, very much so.
You've indicated to me no one has forced you or pressured you into making this decision. You do so of your own free will. Mr. Ledan, the score sheet indicates 46.6 total sentence points at this point.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Court will adjudicate Mr. DeWitt guilty of false impersonation of a law enforcement officer, a third-degree felony, and a violation of 843.08 subsection 1. The court is going to sentence you to 18 months in the Department of Corrections. You will get the credit for the stipulated amount of 90 days. There's going to be some court costs you'll be responsible for upon your release, Mr. DeWitt.
Court costs of $418, $100 cost of prosecution, for a grand total of $518.
It's $518 that you'll owe. You're going to give you a period of 48 months to pay those costs to the clerk of the court collection program. Once you make those, well, if you make little payments, you won't have an issue with them. If you don't make any payments and they can't find you, they could suspend your driving privileges. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are going to have 30 days from today's date to appeal the judgment and sentence to the court. If you wish to do so, you must do it in writing. If you can't afford an attorney, won't be appointed for you. Mr. Ledan, the court will run this concurrently, meaning at the same time with the other Osceola County case that resolved. I don't have that case number handy. State, you happen to have that?
One moment, Your Honor. I apologize.
We've also pled him to it.
That is, I apologize, Mr. Ledan.
No.
That's case 2020 CF 3570, Your Honor.
Okay, 2020 CF 3530?
3570.
3570. That's the only case that's been sentenced that I'm aware of, so I think that's the only thing that I can run a concurrent to. It will be up to Judge Roche to determine whether she accepts a concurrent sentence on her cases at this point. Mr. Ledan, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Collins?
There's two things, Your Honor. The state did file an HFO status on this case. The state will not be seeking to enforce that. That is one of the things that Mr. Ledan was working diligently with our office to try to address in some of the cases.
Is he not HFO, or you're just not requesting the court to take any action on his designation?
We're requesting the court to take no action on it, Your Honor.
Okay, so the designation will stand, but the court's not required to, it just, doubles the potential penalty?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thanks.
And then I apologize, Your Honor. And then the other thing, law enforcement, because you know Your Honor has great interest in this case, law enforcement was consulted in the global scheme of things, including the Office of Sheriff's Office, Windermere PD, Orange County, and Orlando PD. So this is the court's aware.
I've got one case. It's the case in Osceola County. Have you conferred with the law enforcement here in Osceola County?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thanks. It'll be up to Judge Roche to make some determinations as to all of his other cases and whether she's accepting the plea as it exists at this point. This case has concluded. Mr. DeWitt, 30 days to appeal. If you wish to appeal, you must do it in writing. If you can't afford an attorney, it won't be appointed for you. We're going to get some fingerprints before you leave the courtroom. I will make the call today to the jail facility to have you transported to Orange County. Hopefully that will occur. I don't know what their COVID policies are, whether that's going to delay your proceedings in Orange County, but I will make every effort to have you there to address your cases timely.
I greatly appreciate that, Judge. Mr. DeWitt reminded me as well if there can be an order or if it can reflect in the minutes that now that the case is closed that his property can be returned. In most of his cases, there was some property held by law enforcement that he has to divest himself of as a condition of his post-incarcerative probation that he's going to be doing in Orange County.
Okay.
There's also just personal property, cell phones, and those types of things. So I'm hopeful that with the closure of this case, whatever is in this case can be ordered to be released pursuant to that.
Why don't we get that in writing, and the state stipulates that these items no longer have any evidentiary value after consulting with the appropriate law enforcement agency. I can sign off on that change.
Perfect.
Yes, Your Honor. And the state would just want to request that we give the notice to also the attorney of record to the sheriff's office that's involved.
No problem. If you want to send me a stipulated order once you guys have sorted that out, I'll sign it and change it.
Thank you, Judge.
Fine.
That's all I have. May I be excused?
Did I screw up your case?
Anyways.
But that wasn't me.